The modern brain exists in a state of perpetual response. Every digital notification forces the nervous system into a continuous cycle of processing and reacting. When measured, this state of high arousal manifests as rapid beta wave activity. The central nervous system is effectively locked in a high-frequency, high-stress gear. Vethathari Maharishi identifies this neurological stress as a direct physical depletion of endogenous energy. Each reaction to an external stimulus consumes a specific portion of the body's vital reserves. Reclaiming these reserves requires a physiological intervention capable of stopping this energy drain at the source, moving beyond the scope of simple relaxation. This intervention is central to the work of Sri Vethathari Maharishi and his simplified Kundalini yoga system, or SKY. In this framework, Kundalini is defined as the fundamental animating life force, the tangible energy that sustains both the physical body and the mind. To prevent the exhaustion of this life force, the system employs a protocol known as Panchendriya Thavam, or five senses meditation. This practice is designed to act as a regulatory valve. It maps human awareness to biological evolution in an effort to directly modify EEG outputs and conserve energy. The meditation serves as a structured method for managing the central nervous system, attempting to redirect the flow of internal energy through focused awareness. The mechanism begins with biomagnetism, the internal electromagnetic field generated by the rapid rotation of life force particles within the organism. This field finds its primary exit routes through the body's five sensory organs. These are the skin, tongue, nose, eyes, and ears. Sensory perception itself is an active transmutation. To interact with the world, the body must convert internal biomagnetic energy into specific sensory frequencies. This table illustrates how that internal energy is categorized and transformed to interface with different external stimuli. At the level of the skin, biomagnetism is converted into the sensation of pressure. At the tongue, it becomes the perception of chemical taste. The nose utilizes this energy to detect gaseous compounds. The eyes transmute it into light perception, and the ears capture acoustic vibrations as sound. This process creates a thermodynamic deficit. When sensory indulgence is constant, the body drains biomagnetism faster than it can be replenished through respiration or digestion. The resulting energy depletion disrupts cellular homeostasis. As reserves drop, the mental frequency spikes, leading to a state of chronic irritability and physical vulnerability. Panchendriya Thavam addresses this deficit by focusing the meditated life force onto the sensory organs themselves, consciously limiting the rate of energy conversion. The meditation follows a specific defining rule. It must be practiced in the exact chronological order of biological evolution. Stage 1 focuses on the skin. This corresponds to the earliest life forms, which required only tactile awareness to navigate their environment. Stage 2 moves to the tongue, mirroring the evolutionary development of a digestive interface and the sense of taste in early mollusks. Stages 3 and 4 focus on the nose and eyes, representing the rise of olfactory receptors in arthropods and the development of light detection in reptilian life. The sequence concludes with the ears, marking the apex of sensory development in mammals and the emergence of complex acoustic communication. By traversing millions of years of development in a single session, the practitioner acknowledges the interconnectedness of all life forms. This phylogenetic mapping recontextualizes human cognition as a long-term cosmic legacy, grounding our sensory faculties in the broader history of biological effort. To prevent the biomagnetism conserved by this process from stagnating, it must be synthesized through higher cognitive centers. The conserved energy is elevated to the Agna center, or pituitary gland, and the Thuria center at the pineal gland. This shifts the focus from sensory output to internal awareness. This withdrawal of attention from the periphery triggers a measurable downregulation of the mental frequency. The brain transitions from the hyper-aroused beta state into the uniform, restorative alpha and theta states, which correlates to a decrease in cortisol levels. This frequency shift moves the autonomic nervous system into parasympathetic dominance. The result is a stabilization of blood pressure and a lower resting pulse rate. Over time, repeated practice induces structural neuroplastic changes. The cerebral cortex thickens in regions associated with attention, while the pathways governing impulsive gratification are weakened. The result is a biological foundation for emotional stability, anchored in the brain's physical architecture. Beyond theoretical neurophysiology, these impacts have been observed in clinical research targeting behavioral rehabilitation. A 2021 study by Jayanthi and Valiamal examined the specific effect of Panchendriya meditation on juvenile delinquents. Delinquency often involves high levels of biomagnetic dysregulation and a lack of sensory impulse control. Researchers tracked a cohort of 56 participants through a 12-week intervention to measure shifts in mental wellness and reactivity. The findings showed a significant statistical improvement. Participants demonstrated enhanced mind wellness and a measurable reduction in violent reactivity. The practice provided the neurological pause necessary to evaluate an action rather than reacting impulsively to a sensory stimulus. By shifting the baseline state from reactive beta to aware alpha, the protocol addresses destructive behavioral patterns at their source. Clinical validation also extends to psychosomatic conditions linked to endocrine function. Studies on 60 women with hypothyroidism, a condition associated with high stress and energy depletion, showed similar patterns of improvement. Using Panchendriya Thavam to conserve biomagnetism and directing it to the pituitary center helped reset endocrine feedback loops. This was evidenced by significant reductions in clinical markers for depression, anxiety, and systemic stress among the subjects. By moderating sensory input, the practice reduces the chronic stress that impairs the immune system, contributing to long-term physical resilience. Vethathiri Maharishi's work represents a synthesis of biology and consciousness, turning meditative practice into an applied science. By capping the expenditure of life force and aligning awareness with biological history, Panchendriya Thavam offers a practical means of exiting the cycle of sensory reactivity and reclaiming vital energy.